Welcome to the test episode.
Yeah, test episode.
For Take 5.
Take 5.
With 2 people.
Dos people.
So we'll call it Take 2.
Take dos. I made a dose earlier.
Yes. Yes, you did. And it was horrible.
Speaking of horrible, banana sauce. No. So we just finished 5 episodes of I Can't Play H!
Which apparently is just a title.
Yes. Because there is absolutely no playing of H throughout or at least in the first 5 episodes.
And we should just point out right now that we watched the uncensored version of these episodes.
Well, we watched the uncensored version of the 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, we did watch parts of Uncensored 1 because we watched the censored version, and to be honest, we got a little confused at the end there.
Yeah. Naked fighting plus censoring equals what the fuck's going on.
It's not even we're just going to censor the parts that need to be censored, or we'll just draw, some pants on, or there'll be a bush in front of Gohan's junk.
Right.
This is full on, hey, a third of the screen is missing. Also, there's kind of details you need in there besides nipples.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you get a chance, I don't even remember what website we used.
Something totally legal, and never you mind.
What? It was legal. It's all streaming.
Yes. Streaming.
So, but yeah, if you get a chance, definitely find the uncensored version for the combat scenes, because they tend to go topless through most of combat.
Yeah, and to be fair, you could have just drawn clothes on them.
Right. Oh no, this little part of her top didn't wear away. Instead of, a solid black beam across the entire screen.
Well, and apparently the opening and closings are radically different. We just watched both of them.
Yeah.
We're not even sure why the opening was as censored as it was. Because, to be honest, you could have just cut out, 5 seconds there at the beginning?
Right. Or
maybe 10?
They could have did what they did with when they, they had this, different thing in the ending where it was just the silhouettes of the girls, and, bras were visible, but the rest of it was all foofy shading. You could have just done that to the naked girls in the opening.
Yeah. And to be fair, the ending had a lot more naked. So, that being different's a little more understandable.
Yeah.
But, essentially, to the logo is the same, and then the last 5 seconds with a little bit of editing is the same, and then everything in between is just recaps of episode 1.
Yeah.
So, if you've ever seen the Clerks cartoon show, you get to relive the moments in the freezer every episode you watch if you're watching the censored version.
Nice.
Because we're just going to flash back to episode 1. And it'll be cold. Hoth cold. But what did you think of the openings?
They were okay. I mean, if I had just seen the openings, either one, I probably wouldn't have been drawn too much to the series in general.
Yeah, it's a little upbeat. Doesn't really... I mean, the visuals kind of let you know what's going to go on.
Right.
But there is a surprising amount of plot in here for a show that's main purpose is to get someone topless.
Yeah. And
we assume we've only seen 5 episodes.
Right.
Maybe someone will take off their pants eventually.
Right. Yeah, and, although I have a theory about how this series is going to end, and I think it's going to tie to the title. I'm feeling that this whole thing is an H game, and, he's going to just put, the game system down at the end of the last episode, and that's how it's going to end.
So, in other words, all their references to Keanu Reeves are pretty much straight on as he's actually in the Matrix.
Yes.
Or maybe we're in the Matrix, watching the Matrix.
Yo, dog, I heard you like the Matrix.
So I put a Matrix in your Matrix. That's actually a Next Generation episode. We'll skip that part.
Sounds good. So I guess we'll start with what did you like about the first 5 episodes?
Well, So you can't play H. It's really more. So you wanted more nudity in Negima. It's pretty much that. Female lead and female lead look reasonably the same. I guess if you're a fan of Sword Art Online, these lines will be familiar. I'm not saying they're drawn by the same people, but the character design kind of generic.
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting to look at, and, you know, it does go heavy cosplay, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I just assumed that the headdresses would be heavy if someone was going to do this show.
Yes. Okay.
And, yeah, surprisingly reasonably good outfits for a show that's sole purpose is to remove them.
Right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can agree. I mean, it's truth be told, that what's kind of kept me through this series in the 5 episodes is the main character. Just his over-the-top...
He is amusing.
Perviness.
I will admit, though, I think in episode 3, it was starting to grate on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then episode 4 really brought it back. He really came into his own again. It was kind of beating a one-trick pony, and then that pony learned a new trick. I mean, it was the old trick, but this time it had sparkles, so you were in.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah, I mean...
Yes, I know, I shouldn't have brought up sparkles.
My kingdom is sparkling! Also, I love the reference to, you know, his penis being the kingdom. That is...
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean, if you want to call a tower and... What?
I don't know.
What exactly would the balls be in a kingdom at this point? Mounds?
The barracks?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, to be fair, that is kind of what sperm does. It invades an enemy country, and then they all die. But sometimes they don't. And then your life dies. For 18 to 35 years.
Fact. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, let's not go there.
So, what didn't you like about the series?
This is about the first time a Crazy Tooth character has shown up that I am not a fan of. Crazy Tooth, of course, being the one incisor.
Yes. The Fang, if you will.
Yeah. Just, not really a fan. And, I want to say, what, episode 4, maybe? I want to say episode 4. Really went over the top with being annoying.
Okay.
Just that character.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was kind of okay with her debut episode where it's just, all right, you know, we got to add someone in.
Right.
And then they kind of took it back and made her really annoying and then did a baby cry.
Okay.
Just something about that triggers an emotional, I need to walk out of this room in me. Something about children crying makes me walk away. I have no children, so this won't be a problem for me. Maybe for you.
Don't worry, I won't have any children either.
Well, no, the listeners.
Oh.
Then again, it's not my child, so...
Yeah.
I do actually enjoy, the female lead, but I feel horrible for that girl next door.
Right?
This entire show is just making me feel really horrible for that girl next door.
Of course, there's that... I don't know if... Usually, because obviously this anime has the typical tropes. You got the tsundere, I believe it is. You know, the outwardly angry girl who's soft and gentle on the inside. That's the main chick.
Yes.
You know, and then...
See every red-haired character ever.
Right. But typically that ends up being, you know, the childhood friend. You know.
Well, that or that half German, half American foreign exchange girl. Or the first person you just happened to run into when you decided to start teaching at the age of 10, maybe? Or, I don't know, let's look at the shelf here. Yeah, just pick an anime.
Right. But, you know, like, I kind of like that they didn't do that this time. You know, the childhood friend wasn't that. This one was more like I don't even know.
Platonic.
Yeah.
It's almost disturbingly platonic.
Yeah.
In a show about getting girls topless after magical battles.
Right.
Then again, is it? We've only seen 5 episodes.
Right. And she seems too like, you know, I love this guy. You should love him too. We should all love him. Squirt party.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 2 episodes, you feel really bad for her. Mm-hmm. Third episode kind of drives that knife home. And then they kind of start, I don't know, watering it down.
Right. They're like, oh, shit, you know, you've just killed any chance this broad's going to get with this guy. Let's just pollute the water some more.
Yeah, no, it turns out she loved him so much that when that red-haired hot chick showed up, she was all for it, too.
Yeah, she's like, hey, 3-way, I'm down.
Which, I guess, I'm not Japanese.
Right.
So,
and then
I don't know why anyone would marry a doll or pillow, but that's a thing that happens over there.
And then the two-tone bitch comes in, and she's all like, rah! And then, like, by the end of episode 5, she's like, I loves him too!
Yeah, I really feel like when they introduced, essentially, the second character with powers, that they just felt they had to get the whole my friend is my enemy out of the way.
The Vegeta aspect?
Yeah, I wouldn't even... Vegeta had a whole arc to be a villain. He killed some people.
True.
He then went and killed some more people when we were kind of rooting for him. And as far as I know, he continues killing people.
True.
I mean, when Nappa came back, he totally killed him.
Ah, that's not canon anymore.
That is true.
But
thank God for that.
But we digress.
I felt like they just needed to get that out of the way, and then they decided to actually start developing a character which had almost no similarity to that character we had just seen, beyond the fact that they were using the same character model and voice actors.
Right.
So I can't play H. It's really more like, so I can write anime now?
I don't know. The story thus far is better than some anime that I've seen.
It's surprisingly good for a let's get 'em topless show.
Right.
And, to be fair, by the 5th episode, it feels like that's not necessarily what's going on anymore.
Right.
That, while that will continue to happen...
Clothes regenerate mid-battle now.
Yeah. That is no longer, while you're watching, we're going to assume you're invested in these characters.
Right.
Which... Not to jump the gun here, but are you invested in these characters?
The main character a little bit, just because I want to see just how retarded his perversion goes.
Well, now he's training it.
I know.
I really, really hope that there isn't a tournament coming up.
Well, they gotta have the mandatory beach episode.
You're right. A beach episode probably is coming.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no.
They are essentially just taking every trope and using it. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
good.
Yeah, it's definitely not reaching.
Right.
There's going to be no great revelations here.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode, kind of a formula.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good workout anime.
Okay.
Like, if you just want to read some subtitles, and hell, maybe by the time, you're 20 minutes in, and you don't want to do those extra, 5 reps, some tits will help you out. But this isn't really I'm going to sit down and watch this show. But it is only 12 episodes, so it's not a heavy investment.
No. You know, at most, you know, like, what, do an hour a day? You know, if that?
Yeah, or, you know, like I said, I mean, just, you know, get on a stationary bike.
Right.
Watch an episode. Know that you've put your 20 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the stationary bike. And go back to being the typical anime fan. I'm saying fat. Be fat. Eat the food.
Okay.
This episode brought to you by Oreos.
So, I guess for those out there, in your own words, sum up the last 5 episodes. Or the first 5 episodes. 5 episodes we watched.
Meet your characters. Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the typical I'm your enemy, I'm your friend character. Episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the I'm totally just your enemy, but we can kind of be friends. Episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kick it up a notch. Episode 4. Start taking it seriously. Episode 5. What about you?
Episode... I don't know, it's kind of like a retarded roller coaster ride, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is a little all over the place.
Because, I mean, they've got this formula which I really started to dislike in anime, where it's like, they have the one-trick pony, and they always defer to that one-trick pony. You know? It's, you know, like for me, it's like Goku's Kamehameha. It always defers to Goku.
Well,
you know, like, whether it's the Kamehameha, or the Spirit Bomb, or the, you know...
Kaioken.
Kaioken.
Add... Kaioken. Ken? Kao... Whatever. Just add a multiplier in a word.
Right. You know, like... And that's what it seems like. It's like the Dragon Slave, which, to me, don't give me that look, because it was overused. I love Slayers, but they could have done something more than, you know...
They did. Halfway through the first season, they made it weaker.
Right, so then they had, like, the ultimate dragon Gugabwa.
Well, yeah,
but anyway...
If you're going to use the third most powerful dark magic spell to close your first episode, you're going to have to use it a couple more times.
But again, like...
It wasn't an every episode thing. Sometimes they just argued about the fact that Lena was on her period. But we're talking about a completely different anime.
Right.
And so far, no one has been on her period in this anime.
Although she was bleeding down her leg a little bit.
Well, yeah, but that was just a cut. It was nothing.
They
she
never
told
showed
us.
anything.
Yeah. Like, in fact, it was a little weird that we weren't shown anything. Because we've seen everything else.
Right. You know. Yeah. But no, to me, like, if you had that one-trick pony, and you're resting the whole series on that one-trick pony, I mean, I can...
It's working for Negima.
I haven't seen it.
Well, not the animes, but apparently that book's never ending.
Yeah.
I stopped reading at 19, so if it's over, oops.
Yeah, no, like, because so far it's, you know, Shinigami makes pact with, you know, person for life energy. As it turns out, his life energy can be...
Kaioken, it's really just the Goku effect.
Kaioken, Sensu Beat.
Yeah,
It's like he drains, but then instantly replenishes due to his eroticism. You know, touch some boobs, boop, boner, more energy.
Or just describe boobs.
True.
Or just take random words and figure out how to make them dirty. Which was... I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Which was room. Now I'm gonna tell you a story about how I make room dirty.
Right. Ooh, it smells just like you.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the Jackson Pollock painting.
So, yeah, no, and you know, I did find a lot of joy out of that, because, I mean, they could have went the typical, you know, route where, you know, she starts losing, he gropes her tits, and then extra energy. No,
they did that.
They did that in, like, the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're taking steps to kind of get away from them.
Yeah, I do feel like there were nuggets of gold.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sand.
Yes.
It's not to say that it wasn't interesting to watch. The show is pretty good looking.
Mm-hmm. Well drawn.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to start describing nipples here. You're going to see them. Let's just get that out of the way. But the character design, interesting. The costumes, the backgrounds, surprisingly detailed.
Although I'm not a big fan of their, I guess, Shinigami forms. You know, at least with the main character and the yellow lightning chick. I'm not a real big fan of their.
You're just flashing. You're having Monster Hunter flashbacks.
I might be, but I mean, the main Lisana, I think her name is.
Yeah.
She was just the redhead.
Yeah, the redhead.
Yeah, she's got these like bat-wingly things that come out of her head, which are totally superfluous and do absolutely nothing for anything.
I actually think it's a really interesting addition to the character when seen in profile. You know, or if you were going to silhouette the character.
But make it more like Morgana, you know, something more less pronounced.
Yeah,
you know, something
in episode
streamlined.
1, it could have been early episode 2, there is a weird head turn because she's got these things on, and they're like, wait, no, she can't actually just turn her head. There has to be, like, this weird movement that kind of...
Right.
And that should speak to the level of detail that went into the animation.
Right.
Someone actually went, no, that would actually just snap her neck. We need to figure out a way around that.
And then, like, the lightning chick, she had that, like, weird... I wouldn't even call it a horn.
It was she's definitely a unicorn.
Right. You know,
I mean, not 2.
Right.
She's a bondage unicorn. And I gotta disagree with you here. I actually found her costume interesting. Not like, interesting. But considering that everyone else was kind of dress, or, you know...
Well, like, the costumes below the neck I was fine with.
Yeah.
It's the headdresses that I was having issues with. I was like, I don't see...
Well, I thought the two-toned haired girl, let's just call her blue because that's actually her color.
Yeah.
In the uncensored opening.
Right, she uses water.
And, I mean, she is wearing that flower, so... Mm-hmm. Though, was it purple? Isn't her spells actually purple?
They're all water-based, so I would assume they're blue, since water's theoretically blue.
It could just be with the backgrounds.
Right.
But there's a lot of fire. So there's going to be a lot of red tones happening in this show. But yeah, that blue-haired girl, like, she didn't ever have anything ridiculous on her head.
No.
She's actually the most sense that
they were, like,
she does.
Streamlined, like, they went with the curvature of her head, though, so they were less pronounced.
If I was a girl and I had to dress as one of these people, I'd probably go with that outfit simply because it seems the most practical. I don't have to worry about... Well, yeah, I don't have to worry about people standing behind me when I turn my head. I don't need to worry about hitting the top of doors with these horn thing.
Right.
It is mostly just a winter coat with no shirt on underneath.
Not so much a coat, more like a winter cape.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the practical one.
Right.
Which is weird, because that's the character she's turning into.
Right.
But that's not the character we first met.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. At the end, episode 5, while it did seem like they're going to actually go somewhere with this now, I felt a little weird about how that one ended, because I'm like, is this another show where they're going to take some relatively strong female characters, Granted, they get topless all the time, but that's magic. But still, characters that can hold their own.
Right.
And they're going to take that away?
Well, no, because, I mean, by the end of episode 5, he gains this, I guess, laser chest beam thing?
Yeah, there's Ghost in the Machine here.
Right.
That is going to work here. I wouldn't... It's not a god in the machine yet, because it's not like it's suddenly unexpected. Mm-hmm. They kind of telegraphed it.
Right.
So you knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. And you kind of feel like all the characters are dumb for not having realized that was coming.
Right.
And I'm saying coming a lot in a show with topless girls. Just remember that popsicle.
Yeah.
Look forward to that, people.
Yeah, I mean, so far, just to kind of summarize the plot, Shinigami's looking for this ultimate soul that
Keanu Reeves.
Happens once.
The one.
Yeah.
It's very, very important that they are searching for the one.
Right. And then...
They're on a Morpheus quest.
She ends up making a contract with the
main... A temporary
contract with the main boy because she can't operate in the human world without some sort of contract to siphon energy. When you first meet this boy...
Though it's never really explained what happens if they run out.
They get naked, duh.
Well, they get naked, but it's like, do they bounce back? Are they deported if they run out of energy?
I don't think so.
Because it seems like being there is constantly causing them to at least expend some energy.
Well, they kind of... They didn't really go into depth on that, but they did kind of explain that, like, at the end of... Or mid-episode 3, when, bad girl turned good girl is all like, hey, I signed a contract with your neighbor chick who loves you because blah, and the other one's like, you only did that because you can't go back, or you're having troubles getting back. I'm pretty sure if it was, lose all your energy, get right back type of thing, it wouldn't have been an issue. It might be more, lose all your energy, fade into obscurity.
Or maybe you just have to suffer being human.
Possible.
Which, of course, fate worse than death.
Right. So, like...
Whatever the horrible thing that will happen when you run out of energy, besides probably eventually being killed by the weird gelatinous monsters that show up?
Those are made by the Merlot company, the third girl's parent company, whatever.
But even the third girl isn't involved with them.
She is, but she's not.
Well, she's involved in, like, the first two?
No, because she wants to beat the main chick with her own power, but her company developed the monsters. Because she's like...
For some king on the other world thing.
Yeah, the Grim King, whatever. They really haven't gone into that hierarchy.
Sir laughs a lot.
Right.
Evil laughs a lot.
So, but yeah, basically, she's looking for Keanu Reeves, and she's using this boy's soul. They mentioned
with a broken sword,
right? A broken sword, which, according to legend, was broken in half. Half of it was given to the 3 families, I guess. 2 families.
It was the people who protect the king and the king.
Well,
so it seems like
right.
Combining it would never have actually been a problem.
Right.
But then the royal family went and lost their half.
Right. Which is the blade.
And the blade showed up in this boy, spoiler, episode 5.
Right.
But you'll see that coming.
Right.
And, it turns out that Keanu Reeves was in front of them all the time. It's just that he has a personality of a plank with an angry face drawn on it, so no one noticed. The main character's more interesting than Keanu Reeves. I'm being mean.
Hey, Keanu Reeves. Better love story than Twilight.
Everything is a better love story than Twilight.
I'm aware. But Keanu Reeves.
Grave of Fireflies. Better love story than Twilight.
Yeah.
The actual history of the firebombing of Japan. Better love story than Twilight.
What I did in the toilet earlier today.
The best love story compared to Twilight.
So.
But we're getting sidetracked.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so. Anything else you want to talk about? Cover?
I think we've hit it. It's not really in the order that we probably should have done it in. Right. But I think we've hit most of these sections. Of course, the big question is will you continue watching it?
Yes, if only because I kind of want to see what they're going to do next with that perverted character.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the Howard Stern effect.
Right.
I just want to see what happens next.
Right. You know, I mean, like, the story's interesting, but I'm pretty sure I can predict where it's going. You know?
Yeah, it definitely seems by the numbers, but by the numbers doesn't have to be bad.
Right.
It's executed well.
Right. Like I said, I want to see the level that they take this perverted character to.
I'm kind of hoping there's a twist coming, but with only 12 episodes, 5 episodes in, you think they would have had to have gotten to it. And maybe they did. Maybe that's what we just saw. That was kind of a twist.
Nipple
Telegraphed.
Twist.
Yeah, Tokyo is definitely tuned in on this one.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that pretty much wraps it up then. Our recommendation is keep watching it to find out what happens.
Yes.
It's not so bad we don't want to watch it.
Right.
It's not good enough that we need to watch it.
It's no Fafnir, which you haven't seen, and I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes of. But God, do I, just from what I've seen, I don't want to watch the rest of that. We can go into that another time. Because...
Please, let's not.
So, but I guess we'll have to come up with an ending for this.
Well, normally there'll be 3 more people, so...
Right.
I say normally like this is really well planned and thought out.
Right.
Yeah.
And not just 2 guys sitting in front of a mic.
After midnight.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We've made all the right choices in life. And on that note, goodbye, Internet!